Hello, Pirate family. This is Ryan McDaniel, principal of AC Davis High School. We are fortunate to live, work, and be educated in a diverse community. To celebrate our diversity, we are honoring Native American Heritage Day that takes place on Friday, November 27th. During this time, we encourage each of you to reflect on the cultures of the Valley, as well as honoring your own heritage. I want to thank those who put so much time into this celebration, including our host, Jaslyn Adamus.
Welcome to our special presentation, Native American Heritage Day. Today we're going to introduce you 4 individuals that are here to share about their Native American heritage and the importance of the state in the Yakima School District. Our guests today are Mr. Trevor Green, Superintendent of the Yakima School District, Mr. Sidney John, Assistant Principal at Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School, Mr. Zach Rao, Teacher at Davis High School, and Mrs. Jewel Brumley, Assistant Principal at Davis High School. And I'm your host today, Jaslyn Adames, Senior here at Davis High School and also a member of the Puyallup tribe. We want to start off with our Superintendent, Mr. Green. Mr. Green, can you give us information about your background?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to address you today. It's something special to be able to address my heritage and talk about who I am as an individual. Being Native American is something that I hold dear. I am of mixed race. My mother being white, my father from the Muskogee Creek tribe out of Oklahoma. The Muskogee Creek tribe is the 10th largest tribe in the United States, but certainly not as well known as some of the other tribes in the area of Oklahoma. Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Seminole are all probably maybe more renowned, but they were all marched on the Trail of Tears and then did resettle on designated reservations in the state of Oklahoma. I was raised on the Yakima Indian Reservation and really spent most of my time as a displaced tribal native from my own land to the land of another tribe. But it was a wonderful opportunity to learn the traditions and practices of another tribe.
Growing up within the Native community, what are your experiences?
I do remember growing up in New Mexico and dancing in powwows on the Hopi and the Navajo reservation, something that I really am grateful for and appreciative of is that experience and what it meant for me and the way that it taught me to respect our elders and take seriously the wisdom that we learn and grow in a way from those who have had experience before us. That's something that I really treasure in the culture of my tribe, but also that is something that is pretty in common with tribes across the country, over 500 plus nationally recognized tribes.
So why do you think honoring Native American heritage is so important?
I'm proud of the fact that in Yakima, we have taken a stand to really address equity, especially at a time like this in our nation. I think back to the recent elections, one of the things that CNN actually broadcasted was in categorizing the breakdown, they referred to Native Americans as quote unquote something else. And I think that's indicative of the way that the Native American population has been marginalized throughout history. And even when you're looking at the different groups across our country, you'll often see that Native Americans are left off of any assessments or any reading as a group that is really too small to consider. And speaking of the impact that we've had here in the Yakima School District in addressing equity, especially over the last year, the move of our school board, supported by our community, was the acknowledgement of the Treaty of 1855. So moving forward, we will actually celebrate and acknowledge the Treaty of 1855, which affected the Yakima Nation, our neighbors to the south, on the land that we, currently are living on, was originally held by the Yakima Nation and the Confederate bands of the Yakima Nation. So to take the time now and acknowledge the treaty and what that means to the Yakima Nation, and acknowledging the Yakima Nation as a sovereign nation is important. I'm particularly proud of our acknowledgement of that. I look forward to a time where we are continuing to build the relationship and expand the relationship with the Yakima Nation, and would envision us actually having more of a partnership with the Yakima Nation and all that they mean to our community and to many of our members of our schools. I'm excited about that moving forward.
Could you share something you look forward to addressing as a superintendent of Yakima School District in connection with the Yakima Nation?
One of the opportunities that I greatly appreciate, being the representative who is accountable for everything bad that happens in the Yakima School District, and also being the person who is able to hopefully pass on the appreciation and gratitude to all of the wonderful people who are doing phenomenal things within our district. And this opportunity that presents itself is being able to stand in front of the Yakima Tribal Council, the Education Council, and share about our progress as a district. And it's very intimidating, but it's a great honor to be able to stand in front of the Yakima Nation elders and share with them the progress that our students have in our district, and the things that we are doing to provide opportunities and bridge gaps that we may see between the expectations that we have as a system and where they actually are in respect to the education that they've come with. It's a great opportunity, and as I said previously, acknowledging the Treaty of 1855 is something that's very important, and I'm excited about prospective opportunities in the future, which possibly include flying the Yakima Nation flag at our facilities. Some, if not all of our facilities, could be one opportunity that is something that is exciting to have and to think about in the future. Because it's important to talk about equity, it's important to talk about the issues that are happening nationally, but there's a saying that I hold dear, and it goes, I can't hear what you're saying because your actions are drowning out your words. And if we're able to put our actions first and really show through the acknowledgement of treaty days, in one example, in flying the flag in another example, and a third example could be the acknowledgement that we are actually operating on what was previously considered traditional land held by the Yakima Nation. And if we're able to acknowledge that in our board meetings and in events that we have and hold dear in our own school district, then that is actually another way that we can certainly recognize that we have a relationship with the Yakima Nation, and this is something that's valuable to us.
Do you feel diversity is important in both our schools and our district level?
I've mentioned the importance of diversity and acknowledging who we are several times, and just want to call out that I am really impressed at the diversity in the Yakima School District and the many cultures and beliefs, races that are represented, ethnicities, the way that we interact with each other. Part of who I am, big part of who I am is because I grew up in this area and I graduated from the Yakima School District. And I'll never forget the lessons that I learned as a student in the Yakima School District. The inclusion, being able to be who I am, it's forever a part of me moving forward. And I don't take it lightly that we have a school board of directors that is diverse, from having a white man, a white woman, but also representing our Latinx community, and all that they have to offer is something that's important. Having a representative from the Black community is important.
Thank you very much, Mr. Green, for joining us on this program.
We have some great things going in the Yakima School District, and I appreciate your time today.
We would now like to turn to Mr. Sidney John. Mr. John, could you give us a little bit information about yourself?
Hi, I'm Sidney John. I am the assistant principal at Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary in the Yakima School District. My tribal affiliations are the Walla Walla tribes out of the Umatilla tribes out of Oregon, and also the Yakima here just locally. I just want to say that, first of all, I want to acknowledge the Yakima School District Board of Directors and Superintendent Green for acknowledging Native American Day here. I think that's a big positive way to maybe address how Native Americans maybe sometimes felt maybe left out or the invisible culture, but I'm glad it's happening.
Being Native American, how do you represent your heritage?
Reflecting on, I guess, being Native American, I guess I am a Native American, so it's like I live it every day. But I'm so very proud of being part of this culture. Even if I could change, I would not change it. We have a rich and historical culture here in the Americas, and I guess it's something that I'm very proud of. I myself partake in traditions. I'm a Native American dancer, so I attend powwows and celebrations, mostly in the summer because my job takes a lot of my time. But I do find time to connect with that side of me, and I really enjoy it when you hear the drumming of the drums and the heartbeat, as they say. It just kind of uplifts you, and I don Native American regalia that's been in my family for years and generations, and so that's something I take a lot of pride in. And also, I have to prepare myself for those things. I pray for the elders that were before me. I pray for the present generation, and I pray for the future generation. As they say, 7 generations in the future is what we're always praying for. But one of the things I'm very happy is that when I go out there and dance, I get to express myself. I love doing that. My family knows that. My children dance. And also in the evening times when we do the nighttime war dances, I like to paint my face up, and that's pretty cool. When my oldest child, Kaya, was growing up, she used to get scared because I used to paint my face, and she didn't like it, so I'd have to go somewhere else. But those are fun memories. I think Wild Horse Powwow is one of the places we used to go a lot.
Mr. John, can you tell us a little bit about your family?
I'm very proud to let you know that on my mother's side, I have a great grandfather, Chief Jim Kanini, and he was the chief of the Walla Wallas, and that's a great family legacy to live by. And I often look at his portrait. He's riding a horse in his war bonnet, and it always gives me just a lot of pride in knowing that this man was a chief among the tribes here in the Northwest. So that's something that we're taught to know your family, know your family history. And that's one thing that will keep you grounded and keep you, I guess, humble. And that's very important for me, is always stay humble and who you are. But family is very important within the Native American culture. So I'm very proud of that aspect of trying to share that with my own kids, but with others. As you know, family is the nucleus of everything. I want to thank the mothers too, the grandmothers, the mothers, the aunts, the sisters, because they're very important. Our grandmothers and mothers kind of keep the family together, and I can't thank them enough. Unfortunately, I lost my mother back in 2010 due to pancreatic cancer, but I think of her often. So we always think of our family members and keep them in high esteem.
Thank you very much, Mr. John, for joining us. It was a real honor having you. Is there anything you'd like to say in the closing?
I'd like to thank Jewel Brumley for organizing this event. I think it was just very courageous on her part, and I'm just amazed at this lady, but to bring us together to acknowledge Native American Day. But really, it's every day for us, but to get that recognition, I really want to, I'm just really thankful for Jewel was able to put this together. I also want to thank Jeffrey Rist for putting this video production together. He's an amazing person in his craft and what he does. I want to thank Jeffrey for doing that. I want to thank all the Native Americans out there. It's important that we hold dear and true to our traditional beliefs on who we are. And we've been surviving for generations and generations. And I'm just so proud of all of our Native Americans out there, especially our school children who are in school. They're living in 2 worlds. They live in the traditional world, their upbringing. They also live in what we call mainstream society. So I always appreciate our school children, Native American school children. But again, I want to thank all Native Americans for representing who they are, their tribes, respective tribes, their experiences, and sharing that with others. So I want to thank everyone I'm very humbled to be part of this video production. And again, happy Native American Day.
We now want to share with you a brief video from one of our own Davis teachers, Mr. Zach Rao. Mr. Rao shares with us about his heritage and insight of the importance of Native American Heritage Day.
As I look at Indigenous days, and not Columbus Day, but Indigenous days, I reflect on our ancestors. I'm reflecting on my grandfather. I'm reflecting on his brothers and sisters. I reflect upon his mom and dad, which would be my great-great-grandfather and great-great-grandmother. And I reflect on the teachings that they did, okay? As you look around, I see garbage and things up on a mountain peak, which shouldn't be here. I look out because one of the things grandfather always taught was to respect nature, and nature will respect you. You should always leave a soft print in the mountains. So grandfather never taught us the Southampton language. He taught us to respect the longhouse, to respect our fellow brothers and our cousins and our aunties and our uncles, okay, of different families on the reservation. Okay, he taught us that. He taught us to respect our elders and respect the land that takes care of us. Okay, so growing up, Grandpa didn't put us all into what I would call a Native American upbringing. That's what some of my friends in college and high school went through. But I learned a lot. And what he taught me was up in these mountains right here, during the summers we would camp out as kids. And when we'd camp out, we were there for 2 to 3 months. Some of us wouldn't even come out of the mountains. And up in the mountains, Grandpa's taught us food gathering. Looking for, like in the spring up in this mountaintop, you would dig poku root. You would dig bitter root. And so there's all these roots that you'd learn that Grandpa taught us. Little potatoes up in the mountains. Berries, the huckleberries, the food gatherings. He taught us how to hunt. He taught us how to trap. He taught us how to scout around and to understand animals. But he also taught us this, as food gatherers and as hunters, he taught me specifically and all my cousins that you respect what you kill. Whatever you kill, you have to eat, because it gave its spirit for you. It gave its life for you. And so you treat it with the dignity and respect it deserved. So anytime I shoot a deer or an elk, I burn sage and I say a prayer for the animal. And I thank the animal for giving its spirit to me. I still do that to this day as a sign of respect for the animal, okay? Because it's giving its life to feed my own family. And it was done not out of malice. It was not done out of recreation where you're going to hang an antler on your roof. It was done for the meat. And then because it gave its life to me, I am also going to give some of its life, its meat, to other families that are in need as well. So other families will benefit from that harvest of that animal. So there's a lot he taught me about that. He also taught me that everywhere I look in the woods, in the river, in the stream, everything has a spirit. We have air, we have sky, we have water that nourishes us. Pato himself is a giver of water and that provides food for us, for sustenance, for living. And so he taught us that everywhere, even the rocks have spirit, he would say, and the trees would speak. And he says, your job is to go into the woods, to sit, and to let nature speak to you, and you will hear its spirit. Now, my grandfather is in the great sky. My mom is in the great sky. I think our people understand life a lot better than most people do. We understand our connectedness to this earth, and not to abuse our planet, not to abuse our earth, but to treat it with dignity and respect. To love nature, to love each other, to be kind and considerate. Last thing I just want to address is respecting our elders. And what that really entails for me right now is it was instilled in me that anybody that's my elder, I needed to treat with dignity and respect as well. And I need to honor them. And if they need food, provide food. If they need shelter, provide shelter. If they need to be taken care of, to take care of them. Because someday I will be an elder, and I would want the same for me. So, within this culture of character, as I look at Indigenous peoples, I think of pride. I think of respect. I think of awareness. And I think of strength, because we're still here. And we're just getting stronger. So that's my take on Indigenous people. The history, where we're at now, and who I am and what I'm about. Thanks for your time, guys.
Mrs. Jewel Brumley, Assistant Principal at Davis High School. So, can you tell us about your heritage?
Nadella 1. Am. I am Jewel, daughter of Frank, who was son of Edward. My name is Jewel Brumley. I'm Assistant Principal at Davis High School. That was the traditional greeting in my native heritage, the Tsimshian tribe and the Raven clan of Southeast Alaska and British Columbia. My dad taught me how to carve jewelry, silver jewelry, and made sure I was with elders who taught me how to weave baskets in the Tsimshian way. So I am a native artist.
So both you and your dad are native artists in carving and basketry. Well, my grandfather was also a carver. But anyways, what makes you smile about being native?
What makes me happy being native is that I can share my culture with others. I can share the artistry with others and the animal spiritualism. I really appreciate when I see a raven, an eagle, or even a killer whale, because I know they are my brothers and they are there to help me. They have shown themselves to give me support and protection. Native American Heritage Day is important to all of us. I would like to thank Superintendent Green for sharing his culture and helping put this on the calendar for Yakima School District. I would also like to thank Mr. Sidney John and Davis's own Zach Rao for sharing their culture with us and their stories with us. That is how Native Americans thank each other, is by sharing their culture and stories with others. Thank you to Jaslyn Adams for putting this together for DNN and Mr. Rist.
We want to thank everyone for watching and reflecting on Native American Heritage Day. We all have our differences, but we could truly learn to come together to respect and honor the cultures, background, and heritage that we all possess. There's a reason Native American Heritage Day is celebrated on Thanksgiving. It really is about coming together to celebrate the bounty nature provides for us, and we need to give thanks together, all of us together.